As I am already sitting upright, I look at myself. Looking at myself is called antarmukha. Very simple. But its value is very high, in the sense that as I look at myself, the world comes to an end. That is a miracle. Sometimes the world becomes so painful and so heavy that people go crazy. That can be the burden of the world, that heavy can be. But the solution is very simple. Antarmukho bhava. Look at yourself. That is all. Only look at yourself with an open mind. Means, do not fix a label to yourself while looking at yourself. Like, I'm an unlucky person, then I look at myself. That doesn't work. Luck and bad luck, etc. are projections of the mind. Just ignore all that and then look at myself. That is the way, with an open mind. Then, when I look at myself with an open mind, without any fixation, without any notion about myself, I see myself as boundless. That is how I see myself. I don't see any boundaries in myself. I'm like space. I have to think of the body and then identify with the body to become limited. As long as I do not do that, when I look at myself with an openness, I find myself boundless, naturally and spontaneously boundless. And that is the truth. I allow the mind to remain quiet. It is already quiet. I allow it to remain quiet. And I just be. I be. That is myself. I be. The being is myself. Not being this or that, just pure being. The being absolute. I be. Then I explore. Do I see any want in myself? I be. Do I experience any something lacking in my being? I be. No. You do not see anything lacking in the being. You have to give up the being, go into the mind, identify with the mind, then look at the world, and then you feel the lacking, something or the other lacking. Otherwise, as I be, I do not experience any sense of want. I don't see any particular cause of unsatisfactoriness. I just be. Then, as I be and explore, is there any fear? May not be fear, maybe worry, or maybe a sense of insecurity in myself. In all these matters, you have to guide yourself. You are the preceptor and you are the student. You cannot depend on the outside. On a book or on a guru, you cannot depend. You may take a cue from any source, but you have to explore yourself. As I be, and explore myself, the being. Do I see any cause of insecurity? No. Once again, I have to give up the being, go into the mind, identify with the mind, and then look at the world, and then pick up worry and insecurity. Good, we understand the way things work. I be. And I see that there is no want in myself. And there is no cause of insecurity in myself. I see that. Therefore, I declare to myself, Purnoham. I am the fullness. Fullness meaning it is negative, boundless. I am boundless. I am timeless. There is no time in me. And I do not see any want or fear in myself. I be. Purnoham. I did not acquire this fullness. I am missing it. Now I see it. Purnoham. So the point is, just be yourself. Just be is same as just be yourself. Don't try to be other than yourself. Just be yourself. Just be. Purnoham. Relax. Be quiet for a while and relax. And open the eyes slowly. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smruti Namami rūpavarṇādikaṃ sarvaṃ vihāya paramārthavit paripūrṇacidānandasvarūpeṇāvatiṣṭhate paripūrṇacidānandasvarūpeṇā. As the essential nature of absolute fullness, awareness and bliss, avatisṭhate, one abides. That is the Vakya. That is all you have to do. You see, once a person told me, it is so difficult to be myself. It is difficult to be yourself. You always fail to be yourself. You try to be what you are not. And then pick up all kinds of problems and then complain. Okay? So just be yourself. You need not do anything other than that. Just be yourself. So here are a few questions connected with what is being discussed, and so we can put them aside. So I say you watch the breath. Of course, there is no how, just do it. Okay? But watch the breath means a very valid question. So how much breath I have to watch? Because it begins at the tip of the nose, and it fills in the nostrils, and then it goes into the lungs. So how much of it should I watch? It's a good question, valid question. The answer is most preferably the tip of the nose. That much you watch. Okay? And how to watch the breath at the tip? Through sense of touch. And you can extend the tip. They talk of a triangle. So one point here, and tip is not here, you know. So make a triangle like that. That is where you watch. That is where you experience the sense of touch. That is how you watch the breath. Otherwise, how do you watch the breath? Through sense of touch only. That is recommended. But no harm if you allow to go, if you go a little inner also, in the nostril. Of course, tip and also the nostril, a little inner, you can watch. That is enough. Nothing more than that. And if you watch that way, you will notice, try this and see for yourself, the air that you are inhaling, and then you exhale, you will notice that what you exhale is slightly warmer than what you inhale. You can notice that. To notice that sensitivity should improve. Then only you will be able to notice it. If you do it, then you don't see it. You have to do it slowly, and then without getting distracted, and you must have done it with patience, and that gives you that sensitivity. And from that sensitivity you can see that the air going is cooler than the air coming out. You can see that. Therefore, this is how you have to watch the breath. That question is answered. Then there is another question which is very much connected to what I am saying now. That is there any absolute in Vedanta? Paripūrṇa is paripūrṇa sat. That is the paripūrṇa. Sat. Here, paripūrṇa cidānanda, he did not say. But because he has to follow the matter, you know. But paripūrṇa is the paripūrṇa sat, chit ananda. So existence absolute, knowledge absolute, and bliss absolute. Only three absolutes are there in Vedanta. There are no any other absolutes in this creation. Only three absolutes. But then they are not even three. They are one. Okay? It is like language. This is what is called verbal. The plurality is verbal. So means the language has brought in the plurality. Vastu is one. It is like my head. If I Chaitrascha Shiraha, the head of Chaitra. Chaitra is the person, his head. Now how many things are there? Chaitra is one entity, head is another entity. That is the sense you get in the language. But sometimes they say Raho Shiraha. So, but the truth is there are no two entities, only one entity. And it is the language which has introduced the multiplicity. That is how the language. For example, the dreamer is same as the dream. But we say the dreamer is dreaming a dream world. So much division and variety we introduce with language. That's why linguistic, this Namarupa is linguistic. You see, pot, clay has pot, lid, cup, etc. is observational and linguistic. Observational mane rūpa. Linguistic mane nama. Not existential. Existential is clay. Murtiketyeva satyam. Therefore, these are the three absolute Sat, Chit, Ananda. So we say in language it looks as three, but the Vastu is one. Okay? Therefore, there are three absolutes in Vedanta, and those three constitute one reality. Okay? That is the way you have to take. That question is over. So then these questions are connected with what I am discussing. You see, you ask a question, is it possible to avoid Dvaita thinking in this world? That is the purpose of study. That's why we are studying. Only in the world, you see, you have to live a life in the world. That is the laboratory where you test the principle of Satchidananda. That is where you have to test. In the world only you have to test it. Suppose you withdraw from the world, where will you go? Wherever you live, that is the world. And so, therefore, don't try to run away from the world. You be in the world. And you ask the question to yourself, while living in the world, can I practice Advaita? That is the point. Suppose you are married, remaining married, not taking sannyas. Sannyas is a different context. While remaining married to a woman, vice versa, while remaining married to a man, in the case of the woman, can you practice Advaita? That is what Rama and Sita did. There is no difference between Rama and Sita. Hanuman says, Advaitam, when they are in prosperity, Advaita, and in adversity also, Advaita. Generally, people, they have some modicum of Advaita in prosperity and start fighting in adversity. The moment adversity comes, they fight. It is like business. Nobody starts business on his own. He looks for partners. You know why he looks for partners? Out of insecurity. If one has to sink, let me sink along with somebody else. That is the insecurity. May not be spoken out. You may be not conscious of that insecurity. That's why you look for partners. So that if business goes bust, at least there will be somebody else to share the misfortune. And so they start the business together, partners. And the business is going on. Initially they bring some loan, some bank loan or whatever. And then they start working hard to make it success. Because bank loan they will be paying installments. So they have that enthusiasm to make it a success because that is their child. Like parents give birth to a child and bring it up carefully. Like that, they bring it up. And so work hard, work together with all camaraderie, brotherhood and all that. And now it turns the curve. The expenditure is over, it turns even and it breaks even and starts earning profit. Then they start fighting. They will not keep together, they will fight. Brothers fight. What to speak of partners in the world? They fight. And then they will break. And then start sharing the company which they started, the profits. And then they engage lawyers also. And it is the lawyers who benefit from their hard work. Because these people are fighting, they are suffering from that. The lawyers benefit. So, this is a very funny world. So, why I said all that? So, don't fight. Practice Advaita. With Advaitam Sukhadukhayoho. Anugatam Sarvasvavasthasu. That is the marriage thing it is. So, in prosperity, you be good and loving. In adversity, you be equally good and loving. That is the Advaita. And so Advaita you practice in life. So she is not wife. She is not a physical entity. She is not wife. She is Atma. Vice versa. That is how you have to do. And that is why I gave the example of telephone box. It used to be. Nowadays it is gone. the telephone box. So it rings. And now you lift the receiver and put in the ears, and now you are relating. With whom? Relating with the receiver, with the wire, with the box, with the telephone tower. No, you are not relating with any of those things. You are relating with the person at the other end. The person, the individual, not person. The individual at the other end. So you overcome all these upadhis. The noise is coming, the sound is coming from the receiver, from the wire it is coming, from the boxes it is coming, from the telephone pole which is outside. It used to be like that. From that it is coming. These are all upadhis for that message which is coming. But you spontaneously rise above all these upadhis and arrive at the essence, which is the individual at the other end. You have to do that with your wife, with your son, with your daughter, with everyone that you come across in the world. That is how you have to practice Advaita in the Vyavaharika, in the world. Don't say Vyavaharika world, because world is Vyavaharika. It is like in Telugu we say paper kagitam. Kagitam is paper, okay? But we say paper kagitam. World is Vyavaharika. But because what happened, in Vedanta circles, they start saying Vedanta, Vyavaharika world. So the person is accumulating money, collecting money and building things and acquiring property and all that. And somebody asks, you are a sannyasi, why are you doing all this? Vyavahar hota hai, Vyavaharika. So now this blessed thing, Vyavaharika, has become an excuse to engage in the world, to justify going into the world. So there is nothing like Vyavaharika. There is only Paramartha and Pratibhasa. Ho gaya kaam. Okay? Therefore, this Vyavaharika world, this expression, I have tried to explain it because it is mentioned in the question. Then the question is, it is the absurdity of fixing time of Pushkara. Pushkara entering the river at a particular point. You see, it's a story. It's a story. And now it is up to you to take the story literally or you try to see some sense in it. The story is, all the rishis went to Brahmadeva. Why should they go to Brahmadeva? For whatever reason, the Naimisharanya rishis. The rishis of the Naimisharanya, they are not one or two, quite a big bunch. All of them went to Brahmadeva. Brahmadeva said, please come and so please take seat. How are you doing? We are doing well. Very good, doing tapas and all that, very great. So Brahmadeva has a kamandalu by his side. Like I have this cup with water. There is water inside. Then they requested Brahmadeva, please give tirtham, this tirtha prasada thing it is. The story came from there. It must have come from there. Give us tirtham from your kamandalu. Because the water in the kamandalu of Brahmadeva must be very sacred. Yeah. You see, you have water in your cup or in your flask. I have water. This is sacred. How it is sacred? It is the same water, But it is sacred. Isko tirtha bolo. And give a name to it. It is all the game of naming a thing. So you call it tirtha. And therefore you give tirtham to us. Brahmadeva said, no, don't come anywhere near the kamandalu. Because these rishis, they go crazy, they take away the kamandalu and they will fight for the water inside also. These devotees are very crazy. He said, no, sit where you are. Don't come anywhere. I was not going to give. Whatever I have, I have. So he refused. He refused. And then they asked, you are refusing. We are deprived of that great sacred water which will purify us. They are all rishis who went to meet Brahmadeva. They want further purification. What further purification can there be? But they wanted it. Then he said, I will put one drop in the bhuloka, one drop in a river. How many times? Not every day, once in 12 years. One drop I will put. And the moment I put it, it remains there for 12 days and you go and take bath in it. That is as good as partaking of this. That is what he told. They were all thrilled and felt blessed. And Brahmadeva, hey Brahmadeva, vayam krutarthaha bhavamaha abhavatam krupaya. Like that poems, he will write a dozen poems, I tell you. Really. If I sit and try, I too can write. So, and then they were all very happy, and then they come back. So, the Rishayah Krutartha Babhuvuhu Bhulokam Prati Punarayataha iti Sri Skanda Mahapurane Kashika Khande Chaturdashodhyayaha Parameshwara Arpanamastu. This is what it is. This has become, people took it literally. And then they started calculating all that. Some story somebody has written and started calculating. This is how it started. It's okay. This is how all religions are. Not that this alone is like that. All religions are like this. The belief systems are like this. They are generated from some stories, from hearsay. Like that they are created. Belief systems are created like that. If I bring a stick, a dry twig, and put it on the table and worship it for 1 month, if I do that, for 1 month I worship that twig, that becomes a religious cult. People start picking up those twigs and start worshipping it. They will investigate which twig it is, which tree, oh, that tree is sacred, and start worshipping it. Belief systems generated like that. Therefore, you people who believe, they practice it, it's okay, good, you do it. So, then the question is, the question to me, then I will reverse it and put the question to you. The question is, there are certain aspects of astrology in life events, especially like marriage. Is it not so? That is the question. Now I am asking you. You are all married people, most of you. You have known what is marriage. This marriage, is there astrology and horoscope in your marriage, or is there your love, etc.? It is taking things forward. Which is taking things forward? Yeah? Your marriage is, if you say this to your spouse, the spouse is likely to become unhappy also. Suppose the young man tells his beloved, I am happy with you because the Shukra is looking at Shani favorably. Then she says, oh, that is the reason why you are happy with me? Not because I love you, not because I am beautiful or I make life happy for you, I keep your house warm, not because of that. Because of Shukra and Shani, you are happy with me. Therefore, I am asking you, you are asking me, I don't know, but you are all family people, you tell. I am asking you, it is the horoscope and astrology that makes your married life happy? You want to say yes to that? If you say yes, may God bless you. What else I can say? Therefore, where and how to draw a line, you tell me, in aspect of astrology, where and how to draw a line. I already told, don't put words in my mouth one more time. I already told, okay? But I am asking you, where do you want to draw the line? You tell me. So, its association with popular religion, I have complained about it. I presented it as a complaint. The complaint is the religion which must be about God, about love of God. That must be the central theme of religion. Now, but our religion has degraded to a point where God is given a go-by and you go around these planets and the horoscope. And I will give you an example, you go and check. There is this famous Kalahastishvara temple in Srikalahasti, that is the name of the town, very famous temple. And the great poets have written 100 poems, Kalahastishvara, Srikalahastishvara, like that 100 poems were written. That is a great poem in Telugu. And people are very devoted, and they all go there and worship God. That is how I saw it. When I saw it, that is how it was. But later what happened, outside, that is a big temple with a compound wall, inside a shrine, etc. Joining the shrine, the compound wall, somebody put 2 idols and said, these are Rahu and Ketu. He dig, some hole was there, and in that hole he got a mestri and got it cemented and made it, but some steps also he made, and he put 2 idols and said, this is Rahu and Ketu. Those who have Rahu dosha and Ketu dosha, means Rahu and Ketu are cursing you. And those who have this problem, how to know whether I have that problem or not? All these great scholars are there to tell you. And then come there and do worship there. Go into that hole and worship. People, there are 100 people there at that hole, because there is not much space. People have to go into the steps, go down the steps and do puja and come out, like that. There is a big queue there. Near Shiva there is nobody. Almost nobody. You can go and have darshan and come back. But if you want Rahu Ketu worship, you have to book in advance. For that Shiva darshanam, it doesn't cost any money. It doesn't cost. You can go and there. But Rahu Ketu, it costs a lot of money. 10,000 rupees it costs. Therefore, you want to draw a line, you draw it. It is up to you. So now is that not degradation of religion? Yes. So that is what I was saying. Then, but see, muhurtams are fixed by major pethas. Next pethadhipati, uttaradhikari pethas. Now they fix a muhurtam. Why? Not only there, in marriages are also muhurtas are fixed. You go into a new home, muhurta is fixed. Muhurta translates as the right time. That is how it translates. For us, the muhurta for our class is 10:15. That is the muhurta. Evening class on a working day, 6:30. There is a reason for that muhurta. All the muhurtas are like that. But we lost that spirit. That you have to do things in a proper time. Muhurta means follow punctuality. That is the meaning of muhurta. Okay? You see, some of these flights and some of these trains here, he says that the time is 6:32. In a tube, in London tube, he says 6:32 and it comes at 6:32. 6:31 there is nothing. Once I was worried because I have to go to Heathrow airport. I was in the tube, means underground. I was waiting for the tube. The thing has to come, the train. And if it doesn't come, I will miss my flight back to in Hyderabad. So I was waiting. 6:30, nothing is there. 6:31, nothing. There was nobody also. Very cold morning. There are 2-3 people. And then 2-3 people started coming down the stairs. And as they are getting down the stairs, I hear some sound. And 6:31, now 6:30, it came at 6:32. Bratuku Jiva, Jivuda, I entered into it and it put me in Heathrow at the right time. That is the muhurta. But now we went crazy with this other thing. We lost the spirit of punctuality and have created a very demeaning and a shameful expression called Indian punctuality. Indian punctuality means nobody follows time. That is the expression. Did you hear that expression? In the sense which I said, that is how we hear. what a degradation it is, because Indian punctuality means muhurtam, means the minute. That is Indian punctuality. But what happened to it now? Because we took it in the wrong sense and we distorted the whole blessed thing. The worst thing is we have replaced scientific understanding with superstitious belief. That is what we have done. As long as we had scientific understanding, it need not be big rocket science. Some scientific understanding we had, rational thinking. As long as we had that, we were doing fine. We lost it and we degraded into superstitious belief. Therefore, you think about all these things, the pethas, etc. I am too small a guy to comment about them. If they have a valid reason for what they do, may God bless. Okay? That is over. Now, paripūrṇacidānandasvarūpa, that is what you are. You are chit. You have to understand yourself as sat, that we have seen. You have to know yourself as chit. You see, Tattvamasi is sadvidya. It is all about sat. Whereas Maitreyi Brahmanam is chidvidya. It is all about chit. So, there the argument is, you see, the argument is in terms of sound, like Vena, Bheri, these are the Shankha, these are the examples given. So, I will come to it. You are seeing a scene on the movie screen. Scenes, scene after scene after scene. You are looking at a scene. So, the hero, the heroine, the villain. This is Indian expression. Here they don't call a hero and heroine. They call leading actor. That doesn't sound nice. You have to say hero. That sounds good. So, Oscar award for leading actor. What does it mean? Silly it is. Whereas you come to India, there we give a Filmfare award for the hero. That hero is the right word. Anyway, so those three are there. Hero, heroine and villain. Those three are there. And a few other things. The point is, what all you see on the screen is indeed a particular conditioning of the light coming from the projector. That is the statement. What you call a hero is but that light in a particular form. Form is the upadhi, the adjunct. And heroine, so that is also the same light, not some other light. The same light. But the adjunct is different, the form is different. The villain, the same light. Therefore, here we use two expressions. Vishesha, Samanya. Vishesha means the particulars. Hero, heroine, villain. Three particulars. Do they merge in the Samanya of pure light or not? They merge. Or do they exist independent of the Samanya? You tell me. This is the discussion in Maitreyi Brahmana. There they give another example. There is Dundubhi or this tabla, let us say tabla. And so he is beating it. Percussion instrument, that is what they call. Sometimes I wonder, percussion for the instrument or for your head and my head? Because they beat it so much. So we get percussed, I suppose. I don't know whether I can call it like that. So the percussion instrument. And so he is hitting it. You see, if you give tabla to me, I will do dabba 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 dabba. That is what I do. But if you give tabla to an artist, he will tadhiganatom, tadhiganatom. That is what he will do. Now, one samanya I will introduce to you. Tabala sound is the samanya. Now, what is ta? Vishesha. Still sabala sound. Dhi. What is dhi? Vishesha. Still tabla sound. What is Genatom? Vishesha. Still tabla sound. Now the question is, this Tadhiganatom, 10. Tadhiganatom, again 10. These 10 Visheshas, do they independently exist? Do they exist independent of the tabala sound, the samanya? Do they exist independently? No. It is the same tabla sound which is ta, the same tabla sound which is dhi. Only the form has changed. The sound is the same. That is the example given. Now don't punch holes in the example. That is the example given in the Upanishad. Okay? So therefore, you look at yourself. You are the light of awareness. It is like the projector light in comparison with what all the scenes that are projected onto the screen is primordial light. You can say that. Because that is at the beginning, that is in the middle, that will be at the end. All these things appear and disappear. That is the primordial light. Now, in your world experience, that is what is called. You should not say in your world. In the world, there is no the world. There is only your world. Okay, every world is subjective. Therefore, it is not the world. It is your world. And in your world, what is samanya and what is vishesha? Vishesha is houses, roads, cars, buses, this, that. All those are visheshas. What is samanya? The primordial awareness, the light of awareness, which is in you, which is pouring out through eyesight, illuminating forms, through ears, illuminating sounds, through nose, illuminating scents, through skin, illuminating the sense of touch, etc. Like that, so that light, it is pouring out, the primordial awareness, light of awareness is pouring out through all these organs, of course mind included. That is how it is, the light is illuminating Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. That is how you have a world appearing to you. That is the world. There is no other world. World consists of only 5. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. World is what you hear, what you touch, what you see, what you smell, and what you smell, take it in the right sense, and what you taste. That is the world. There is no sixth sense. There is no sixth object. Except in Hollywood. Just I say like that. Okay? There is no sixth object because there is no sixth sense. You see, sometimes in cinemas what happens, you see, there was a song. That song is 5 minutes a song. But we all went to the cinema in the childhood, when it was all black and white days. Okay? We all went to the cinema. And the song was only 3 minutes. The song was supposed to have charanam, 5 charanas it is supposed to have. It has only 3 charanas. Hey, what happened to the rest of the song? Then we were furious about it. Then next day somewhere we have read that they have shot all the 5 charanas, but in the process of editing they have dropped 2 of them. So, therefore, that is the world, your world it is. You have 5 elements, 5 sense organs, and 5 Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. You withdraw 1 sense organ, your world will be wiped off that vihāya. It is like that. You are the center of the cosmos. You have to understand yourself correctly. So I gave the example for some reason, but I could not really connect it. But I will connect it when I connect it. So therefore, you are the source of that light. Nānā chidra ghatodara sthita mahadepa prabha bhaswaram. Like that Shankara says. So this is the pot, and there is a light inside the pot, and there are holes through which that light is pouring out. And how do you know the light is pouring out? How do you know? There is only one way to know that the light is pouring out. That is, the objects are shining. That is the only way. How can you say there is light in this room? Because objects are shining. So Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha are shining. They are becoming evident. That is the shining. Shining means not jiggle shining. Evident. They are becoming evident. That therefore the light is not this kind of physical light, the light of awareness. That is the samanya. And all these visheshas, they merge in that samanya. That alone is. Therefore, you are that light, that awareness. It is the original. And primordial means original. Okay? And it is beginningless. It has no beginning. The Jagrat begins, the waking state begins, not the light of awareness. Light of awareness is there in the sleep also. It doesn't begin. It is timeless. The waking state begins. And the waking state ends. The light of awareness doesn't end. It is endless. Waking state changes. Tadhiganatam, change is there. Hero, villain, change is there. But the light doesn't change. It is changeless. That awareness, that is what you are. It can be put in this way. There is the experience of Shabda. This is what I wanted to tell. The world is wrong expression. Your world is better. Because all world description is subjective. And also, even better would be, most rigorously spoken, there is no world, there is only world experience. शब्द नहीं है, शब्द का अनुभव ही होता है. That's why the Zen masters saying, this we repeat all the time. In a forest where there is no human being anywhere around, a tree has fallen, will there be sound? The answer is no. There will be no sound. Sound is not what vibration will be there, but not sound. The vibration has to fall upon your ears, and then only the sound happens. Sound is what you hear. Sound is not what happens outside, independent of your hearing. Got the point? Therefore, there cannot be knowledge of Shabda, Shabda-jnana, Rupa-jnana, Rasa-jnana, etc. without, independent of you. You are the jnana, the primordial awareness. That is what you are. That alone is real. That is the chit. So, what you have to do is, what is happening and what you have to do. What is happening? You get engrossed in the known. Shabda comes to light. Shabda becomes evident. You are now absorbed in the Shabda. Rupa becomes evident. You get absorbed in the Rupa. Rasa, you get absorbed in it. So like this, you are getting absorbed in the five things that you are experiencing. Okay? In the process, you become bahirmukha. You do not ask, what is that light of awareness which makes the taste evident? What is that awareness which makes the knowledge of the forms evident? Chakshushas chakshuhu kya hota hai? Nobody asks this question, only an Upanishadic man asks this question. Because everybody is busy with forms. They don't ask, what is it behind the forms becoming evident? That question nobody asks. So you ask that question. Don't be so totally absorbed in these experiences, of course, which are made possible by that inner light only. So don't get absorbed so much in those experiences. Try to understand the matrix of every experience. There is a thing called matrix. So what is the matrix of every experience? It is like asking an example only. What is the matrix of a laddu? Sugar. What is the matrix of jalebi? Sugar. What is the matrix of a payasam, pudding? Sugar. That is the matrix. That's why while eating food, they write calories. That is the matrix. On the packet also they write so many calories, so many calories, so many. That is the matrix. Health depends upon the matrix. Health doesn't depend upon the name of the dish, how it is served. It doesn't depend upon those things. It depends upon the amount of sugar that you are consuming in the name of all these dishes. Sugar is the matrix, let us say like that. Similarly, every experience you take, any experience you take, what is the matrix of that experience? That you listen to the sound, and there is sound experience, shabda-jñānam. Sound experience means all experience is in the form of knowledge only. That's why upalabdhihi, shabda upalabdhihi, that is the word. So the upalabdhi of shabda, the upalabdhi of the rupa, they are there. In every upalabdhi, what is the matrix? The light of awareness. Is it different for different upalabdhis, or is it same for all upalabdhis? It is same. Therefore, the common matrix of every experience is that inner light of awareness. That is the common matrix. Therefore, forget the known. Understand you are the knower. And the knower is essentially that inner light of awareness. But when we go to the movie, we are lost in the known. That is what is called absorption. Okay? That is the movie going. In meditation, we put the known aside and abide in the knower's true nature, or abide as the pure knower. Knower, I am saying drashta, okay? I also mean the knowingness, okay? Druk. So you go along with me. When I say drashta, I say drashta. Okay? Don't catch my nose. So that is how we say it. Therefore, forget the known. That is the vairagya. Forget the known. Vairagya. Understand the knower. Viveka. Why viveka? Because you may assume that the body is the knower. Body is not the knower. Deho na janati. Body is not the knower, appa. Body is the known. Body is not the knower. Then who is the knower? Mind is the knower. No. No, mind is also the known. So the knower, that light of awareness in you, you remember that you forget the known. And forget means ignore. And remember that you are the knower. Don't be immersed all the time in your experiences. Leave the experience alone and be the knower. And then the knower, as you abide as the knower, that is the I am. That is the subject. So then what happens, the subject also further, it becomes subtler and subtler to a point of pure quality of knowledge. The knower emerges as the pure quality of the knowingness. Because what happened when the object is dismissed, the subject cannot remain the subject for a length of time. The subject loses its subject character because it's a dipode, it's a counterpart, When one is knocked off, the subject nature also gets knocked off. And that subject becomes subtler and subtler. The I am becomes subtler and subtler to a point where it emerges as the quality of pure knowingness, which is the light of unconditioned awareness, which is you. This is the chit. You got to understand? Paripūrṇacidānanda. Therefore, you have to understand the mind is there, the mind is moving. That is how you are experiencing the world. This game is going on all through the waking state. And behind this moving consciousness, as I was saying yesterday, in that moving consciousness, that flow of like a river flow, underneath that flow there is a bed, river bed. Similarly, bed doesn't move, only the river flow moves. Similarly, the consciousness, it is continuously moving consciousness, changing consciousness, but behind the changing consciousness, or sometimes the word consciousness itself is used to mean chit. It is used like that. You go by the context, and also you go by the import or the purport of the speaker. You try to understand, already it is spoon feeding. Now if some gaps are there, you fill them. Dimag use karo. Okay? Therefore, so there is the movement, constant movement. And behind that moving mind, there is the moving mind. Behind the moving mind, there is a changeless background. It is like I am sitting in the bogie, train bogie compartment, and it is moving, but I am conscious of the rails underneath which do not move. Okay? So similarly, behind this moving mind, there is the background of pure light of awareness. It is the moving mind that supplies all the conditionings for that light, making it appear as though multiple. It is neither multiple nor variegated. It is not multifarious. It is a solid rock of awareness, pure ghana, we say, chid ghana, the rock-like monolithic awareness. That is what it is, like this light. So, there is light, the bulb has light. Here that light is there. That's why I am able to see. That light and this light are same. They are not different. And between this light and that light, there is something else in between. There is no something else. That's why you are able to see this. That is called ghana. Ghana means anantarita. There is nothing in between. Saturated, homogeneous, and uninterrupted. It is, that is the ghana. It is chit and chit alone, nothing else. That pure, awareful being. That is what you are. Therefore, what you have to do is, you look at the consciousness, which is the movement of mind. That is how I am using it. So that background movement of mind happens in that field, that is the field of consciousness. So, that field of consciousness, you make it broad and deep. Because when you make it broad, you overcome a limitation. And when you make it deep, you overcome the limitation and it becomes limitless. Suppose you take, what is ocean? Take water and make it broad and deep. That becomes the ocean. Okay? So take consciousness, the same, your consciousness only. You need not acquire some new consciousness by doing some kind of a samadhi and this and that. So put some solid, some wooden spear at the base of the spine and sit on it, and it is pinching, and yet you manage it and do like that. You need not do all these silly things. That is what they are doing in Himalayas. Some of them, not all. You need not do any of these things. Not necessary. Or you need not stand on one leg for 6 hours. That leg swells. And later he has to employ one shishya to take care of that leg. He will do it inside. All this nonsense you don't need. Sitting on thorns. He won't sit on thorns inside the house, you know that? Only on the road he will do it. And so he won't sit on one thorn. He sit on one, I will give one strong, sharp thorn. One. No, he won't do that. He will collect a big branch of a thorny bush and sits on that. All these things, you don't need any of them. These are a bit illiterate people. But the literate people are there. They create some systems, all imagined systems, and then they pursue those systems. You don't need any of that. You look at your consciousness. The background is the Brahma, which is the Satchidatma. And so what all you have to do is make it broad. Means include all, love all. That is how it becomes broad. Include. All are one. One in all in one. Broad in it. And then make it deeper. Deeper means I see the forms, therefore forms are real. That is not the depth. There is no depth in it. What is behind the form? The eyesight. What is behind the eyesight? The mind. What is behind the mind? The changeless awareness absolute. Depth. Depth can be understood as you are a person, but then you are not a person, you are individual. Person is I am father, mother, brother, I am a citizen, that is the person. Individual is pure I am. That is the individual. So deepen. The person, say goodbye and go and abide as individual. Deepen. And then the subject I am also becomes subtler and subtler. And it deepens further as the pure quality of knowingness. That is how you deepen it. Start with the world, make it experience, bring it to the sense organ, then the mind, buddhi, ahankara and pure aham, overcome all those obstacles and arrive at the limitless, boundless, pure awareness. That is the chit. I have to describe it, so I took my time and described it. But the fact is, the truth is, it is you here and now. You can experience it here and now. You have to experience it, otherwise there is no point in it. You have to experience it. No, we don't like the word experience. God bless you, you abide in it. At least now you like that word. You don't like that word also. No, how can we abide? What we are abiding is separate from the one who... If you start like that, then there is no words left in Sanskrit or English. Therefore, you be that. Okay? That is how chitsvarūpeṇāvatiṣṭhate. That is the chit. So, you aspire to abide in the chit. That is aspiration, jñāsa. What is the difference between aspiration and ambition? Ambition is always about the worldly things. I am running one old jalopy. My ambition is to acquire one new Tesla SUV. That is the ambition. Okay? Now you got it? Okay, then what is aspiration? I aspire to abide in my pure awareness, deepen and broaden the awareness. That is aspiration. That is the difference. Therefore, you aspire, don't be ambitious. So that is the difference. That question is answered. I want to change my job. Why? I did not read it fully. You want to meditate. You want to love all. You want to broaden and deepen your awareness. That is what you want to do. You want to study Ātmabodhaḥ. You want to be a blessing to everybody around you in the family and in the community and society. That is what you want to do. Not change the job. Why should you change the job? Why you need a job in the first place? That is all you need a job for. And if you are getting it in the present job, why should you change it? Maybe there can be valid reasons for changing. Like what? Grow in my field. No. You see, I regularly study physics and chemistry and mathematics. Once I am doing some mathematics, somebody came from behind and said, are you attending any exam or what? Some central services exam, you are appearing for that or what? Why are you doing all this integration, differentiation and all that? So, because I love, that's why I study. So similarly, you study in your field, you develop, improve the knowledge in your field. That has nothing to do with the job and money and all that. That you can do. And become better in my field. That you can do, you should do. Not for fame, higher salary or power or title. Good. You are great. You continue to study the subject which is your subject, whether it is physics or chemistry or computer science, or you be up to date. Like these doctors keep themselves updated. They don't, otherwise you become obsolete. You keep your knowledge up to date all the time. That you do. And you need to change a job for that. I don't know. If that is the context, you may as well change for that. And if it is not ambition, you go ahead and do it. If it is aspiration, please go ahead and do it. But I would further prefer, it depends upon what is your age, how much service you are having, and what kind of aspiration you have about Atma-jnanam. It all depends upon all those situations. Okay? It depends upon all those things. Please go ahead, go ahead. This changing of job for reasons of escapism, you are tired of this place and so go elsewhere. So this movement, people change things. They believe that change brings happiness. Change the spouse so that I may become happy. They do that. They do that only. They regularly change, these Hollywood people regularly change the spouse. What will happen? Nothing will happen. Will they be happy? I am not sure. Then change the place of living. You live in Pennsylvania and go to Florida. And all Californians are moving into Texas. And so like this. And then Floridians are tired of all those storms and they are moving into Arizona. So change of place. Will it make you happy? I don't think so. You will remain an unhappy guy even in the new place. Even if you you make it up, what they call it? Upgrade. You upgrade your house. Will you be happy? You will not be happy. If you can be happy in the present house only, you can be happy. It is possible. But if you upgrade it for becoming happy in this life, you will not be able to be happy. Because you are looking at happiness entirely wrongly. By upgrading the house, I will become happy means your understanding of happiness is totally flawed. And you are likely to remain unhappy the rest of your life. So you have to understand happiness, ananda, which will be tomorrow's class. Om Purnamadaḥ Purnamidam Purnasya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti